Now, is there a possibility that that
is not a reviewable play?
That's what I was going to ask you. And that may be the case because we see no signal, no change. Runner is safe at second base. They recorded the out there, 2 outs, so maybe a good challenge, but not an applicable challenge. So Fernando Gomez will step in after that delay. Walked in his only other at bat. Runner in scoring position, 2 away. Diaz back to work, and that one gets away from Mullins, and easily Gregario scoots down to third base. So sometimes those delays, and I know coaches do the challenge, but it may not always be beneficial to your pitcher who's in a bit of a rhythm to take that sort of timeout, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Missing down does Diaz. 2 balls, no strikes.
Gomez worked a walk his last time, Lance, and not really getting challenged all that much here again in this at-bat.
Take something off. That one down. So a 3-0 count to Fernando Gomez.
Nobody throwing in the U.S. bullpen at this time.
That one missing up. So a 4-pitch walk to Gomez. Second time he's aboard with a free pass, and with 2 away now to be Jose Reyes.
And you'll remember they ran for Gomez last time around. So if they run for him this time, he will be out of the game.
Well, Gomez, this may be the 2-out catch.
Yes.
Into play. So.
I forgot that there was 2 outs with everything that was going on.
Yeah, and that is the case. So they get the luxury of having someone run for him without penalizing. Reyes now, if he's able to deliver, it'd be interesting to see if they put the runner in motion here in Francisco. See if they don't try to force the U.S. defense, who may have been lulled down just with those challenges alone. And we'll see here if Marco Diaz now going to need him to bear down here. He's already surrendering the tying run. Swing and a miss from Reyes.
Most of what we've seen from Reyes has been attempted bunts and slap bunts in a position now where he can drive a runner in with 2 down.
Got some work to do, and a big man in his way in Diaz. Runner goes, slap. Mullins fakes that throw, and you knew he wasn't going to do anything, and that was why I suggested that they try and take that base. I think Mullins wasn't going to take that risk.
Well, especially with 2 out and Reyes at the plate, who's not had any offensive success this week, you would rather take your chances with him than throw the ball around the infield.
Popped out to the pitcher last at bat. That one slapped that, waved that, nothing doing. So a big strikeout for Marco Diaz. He's got 5 in the game, and they dodge a bullet there, but not before. The DR ties things up with a big run. We're headed to the bottom of the inning when we come back. Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so. These 2 teams come in with identical records. Winner will move on to the Super Round, loser will not. And it'll be Milheim Schiller and Lynch with their second look here at Mikael Batista, who's done a good job of keeping this potent U.S. offensive attack in check in the early going. And this is what we seen yesterday with Japan in the U.S. game. They did a good job just to keep things close, keep the U.S. off balance. And they start putting together back-to-back hits. That's when you run into problems. And that one on the outside corner to run the count even, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, one of the things we've seen from the U.S. over the last couple of years as they've built towards this tournament is that contagious hitting. They're still waiting for it to show up, and full marks to Batista and Gomez so far today.
Good nibble, no bite. 2 balls, 1 strike. Milheim grounded out to end the first inning in his only other at bat. That one lifted up into right center, coming over, and a collision. Both go down, but a good grab from Reyes, who hangs on to that. And
Lance, he hangs on, but that was a hard collision as Pablo Figueroa coming over from right. This will give you a good look at it if you even want to see this. Okay, not as bad as it looked. Not good, but not as bad as it looked.
Question will be, it looked like the glove to the head is what is causing the laydown, but that was a tremendous collision. I'm just impressed with the way that Reyes was able to hang on to that. That's the kind of collision that makes that ball pop out.
Absolutely. Looks like both guys are going to be okay. Figueroa kind of cutting in front. But I thought, I didn't see anyway like a shoulder to a head or anything like that.
No, in real time, maybe it looked a little more severe than it was. When you watch the replay, it looks like he just caught him with the hand to the head area as opposed to full body collision. Not that that's going to be any consolation. I'm sure he's hopefully shaken and not stirred. That would be...
When you're running for a ball like that, anytime you collide, it's Figueroa, you see him touch his head. He would have got hit in the head with the softball there. And he might have been worse for wear than Reyes. But both of them are up. Both of them headed back to their position. And we're thankful for that.
Got away with one there. I think we all know that's a center fielder's ball on his call. But sometimes both are concentrating on that ball in the gap. And you got to be listening. But more importantly, you have to be yelling for that ball. And if the right fielder doesn't hear the center fielder, he's going hard for it. So
the wind is whipping around out there, and the ball is tailing away. And listen, I'm glad they're both okay, and it's a nice catch by Jose Reyes.
So one of the hottest hitters in this tournament steps in to the batter's box, and Cam Schiller remained hot, had a single in his first at bat. Back at it here again with nobody aboard, 1 away. Bounced in for ball 1.
Yeah, one of just 2 hits to this point in the game for the USA, the Schiller single and the Davis triple.
Took something off, and guess who's still hot? Cam Schiller. He's going to make a big turn. Schiller is going to run around, and he's going to slide into second safe with a 1-0 double. Cam Schiller, you're having a heck of a time getting this guy out as he's on base one more time.
Now 6 for 8 in the tournament, and there is nobody hotter than Cam Schiller here in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
I'm impressed with his hitting, but also his base running. He is using the direct corner of that base, using the least amount of space to get from base to base. That's just a veteran there doing his thing. Jonathan Lynch now steps in.
Tell you what, Lance, if there's somebody on this broadcast crew that knows base running, it sure as heck ain't me and the other guy.
It's one thing to know what to do, another thing to do it. So that one shot up the middle. A big answer. Schiller's going to round the throw. Not in time. RBI for Jonathan Lynch. The United States regained the lead 2-1.
Talk talked about how dangerous Jonathan Lynch is in that number 5 spot. Now, Jose Reyes has arguably the best arm in this tournament, and Superman Schiller across the plate there to give the U.S. the lead. Lynch moves up to second on the throw. That's a great response for the USA.
Well, you knew that what to expect from Schiller because he has been dangerous from day one. You know that Jonathan Lynch, of course, just seems to rise to the occasion when called upon, and it looks like we're going to have ourselves a pitching change. And it looks like it is going to be Yanni Gurriel who's going to step in and take over the duties. We're going to take a short break, step back, and we'll be right back. So coming back, just a correction, it is Surya, not Gurriel, that is in the circle, and certainly has played a role here in this tournament.
Johnny Suriel with his second appearance, Lance. He pitched an inning and a third yesterday against Australia. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 earned run, no hits. And radar gun-wise, he was second only to Marco Diaz. They both topped out around 87. More consistently for Diaz and Suriel.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so.
He was second only to Marco Diaz. They both topped out around 87. More consistently for Diaz and Suriel.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so.
He was second only to Marco Diaz. They both topped out around 87. More consistently for Diaz and Suriel.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so.
He was second only to Marco Diaz. They both topped out around 87. More consistently for Diaz and Suriel.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so.
He was second only to Marco Diaz. They both topped out around 87. More consistently for Diaz and Suriel.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so.
He was second only to Marco Diaz. They both topped out around 87. More consistently for Diaz and Suriel.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tie ball game, fittingly so. Struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
Sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple of pitches, when you do throw one at the bottom of the zone, you may not get the call.
Gets that call, 3-1, and I think when you come in relief anyway, you do have to establish the fact that you've got some control, and like you said, velocity aside, you got to be able to hit your spots, and he can't. And it's a walk to Mullins to load the bases.
And that is just one of the dangers of the intentional walk to Tyler Johnson. And now Yusuf Davis with a triple is stepping in with the bases loaded. We're going to get a runner for Nick Mullins. That's Frank Kimlinger coming off the bench for his second pinch running duties this week.
Kimlinger gives Mullins a bit of a break on the base pass, but like you said, Chris, that's now you're looking at a hot hitter in Yusuf Davis coming up with the bases loaded and a chance here to tack on a few more runs for the U.S.
And if there's a guy you're not likely to double up in the U.S. lineup,
this is
Yusuf
certainly
Davis.
one of your guys. Agreed. Great speed. He's one of those quiet, tenacious guys. You know he's always working hard.
Lance, a lot of speed on the bags, too, for the U.S. right now.
That pitch missing up, so Suriel's going to have to find a strike zone here and do it soon with these bases loaded. Nowhere to put Yusuf Davis with one away. Pivotal point here, bottom of the fourth. Davis lifts that one up. That will tail away foul.
Off the big tense out in left field. This game is intense. That ball was on tense.
That one shot through the hole. Big hit, Yusuf Davis. One run comes in. Throw comes in. Another run scores. Two-run single, Yusuf Davis. The U.S. tack on a couple more and now lead this one 4-2. Sorry, 4-1.
Yusuf Davis and Camp.
Struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
Sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple,
struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
Sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple,
struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple,
struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple,
struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple,
struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican umpire here called that a strike. Unfortunately, they're all wearing players' uniforms, and it's a 3-0 count.
sometimes when you come out of the gate and you're wild on your first couple,
struggling to find the strike zone, and every Dominican. If you're the American side, you're liking where you're at right now. Ground ball, that will roll foul down the third base line. If you're the Dominican Republic, you got to figure you just can't give up any more runs, but putting that base runner on certainly didn't pay dividends for the DR.
it did not. And with Yusuf Davis out at second base, anything through the infield will tack on another for the Americans.
That bounced in there. The run to count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, action in the U.S. bullpen now.
It's Cody Gibbons again. We have not seen Brad Kilpatrick up today, which is curious to me.
It is. They've got some depth in their coaching staff, in their pitching staff. So I'm surprised as well. But sometimes you have to let the flow of the game dictate who you use and when you use them. And if you know you're going to go with Marco Diaz until things get a little shaky, but what we've seen from Marco Diaz is a bit of a slow start, but he gets better as the innings go on. And if the U.S. can give him some run support, he gets even better. That one shot out too short. Running in, high throw off the bag. Yusuf Davis took a big lead, but he's back safe. So I think you got to score that an E6.
Yeah, that's
throw.
E6 all day, Lance, and that is not something we're used to from Nestor Francisco. How about the running by Davis? He times it very well. Just a little bit of distraction. Good speed down the line for Shaw. And its bases loaded one more time. And this is maybe, well, outside of Schiller and Davis for today, one of the last guys you want at the plate with the bases loaded.
Sure, Eric Ochoa steps in 0 for 2 with a pop-out, grounded into an inning-ending double play in the third. And a chance here to bust this one wide open.
No.
Floated, and that one's outside. I think that might have been...
That was Eric on the mics, yeah. Not the umpire.
That call. Okay. batter to step into the batter's box this inning for the U.S.
If you're a young player who's a slap bunter at home, you can probably head to the refrigerator during this at-bat. You're not going to get any tips.
No, not for the slappers out there, not Mr. Ochoa. And a healthy hack there, just a little late, but no shortage of intent.
Man, I love watching him swing. There's no doubt about what he's trying to do to the ball. We've had plenty of guys come through over the years with that powerful swing, and Ochoa is among the best.
1-2 pitch. Missing out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, you know, Chris, a lot of people say, well, you know what, you should really shorten your swing. Don't swing so hard when you got 2 strikes on you. But you know what? Your intent is to go up there and hit the ball as hard as you can all the time. So I'm not sure that a guy should ever change his swing. That one lined out to the gap in right center. That's going to go all the way to the wall. 1 run comes in to score. Another. And a sister and a brother. Bases clearing double. Eric Ochoa. And the U.S. got a stranglehold on this ball game.
Like you said, don't change a thing. A rise ball that Ochoa goes up and gets all the way to the fence. That'll clear the bases. And Eric Ochoa, you can see him here coming into second. Just out of our screen. 2 fingers to the sky. And it's a 7-1 lead for the Americans.
Well, we talked about the ability of the U.S. to get on a roll. And we saw that in Oklahoma City in the group stage where they put up double digits a couple of times. And here today, you could really just feel that they were waiting for those back-to-back hits. And who else sparks them but their middle of the order, their cleanup guy and Cam Schiller and Jonathan Lynch. They provided the back-to-back. Yusuf Davis, the support, and just the little things in between done by Tyler Johnson and Mullins before they got to Yusuf Davis. And now you're looking at the 10th batter to hit here as Lane Milheim up in this inning for the second time in this ball game.
Slight delay as Brennan Ducharme comes in to run at second base for Eric Ochoa. And Lance, you got to think about the 2 plays at shortstop for Nestor Francisco. On the ground ball where he got preoccupied with the runner, only got 1, and then the error on the throw.
Well, you do that. You throw in the fact that you intentionally walked that runner onto first base when you had a runner in scoring position already, and you could just talk about not helping your own cause. But a big inning here for the U.S. 6 runs on the board. They take a commanding lead, and right now you can see that Suriel is struggling. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball missing up. 2-1.
Yeah, honestly, you got to feel a little bit for Suriel. He got those ground balls. He should be out of the inning. Instead, it's been a 6 spot and counting here in the bottom of the 4th for USA.
Well, he has gotten a couple on the ground, but he's also surrendered a couple of ropes that hit the base of the wall pretty hard in the alley. So a 2-2 count here to Milheim. Milheim grounded out, flied out. That to lead off this inning was the fly out. And this 2-out rally, and it just seems like it's the 2-out rallies that really can break a team's back.
Brad Kilpatrick is now getting loose for the U.S.
That may change the game plan for the U.S. staff, as that one's lifted up over our heads. Now all of a sudden maybe you don't need to utilize Marco Diaz for the next few innings. Give your rest of your staff that hasn't seen any action some work.
I think that's in play for sure. It may also depend if the U.S. is able to catch 1 more, put themselves in a run-ahead situation.
That one goes to the screen and scooting over to third base, making a big turn there. Was Ducharme, and another walk. And that will bring up Mr. Schiller one more time. And you talk about not wanting to see Eric Ochoa, and that was something. Well, there's another guy you don't want to see. 2 for 2 today. with a single, a double, and a run scored. And maybe, Chris, you can just give us a quick rundown of the run rule. We haven't had to really discuss it too much in this tournament. We figured that there's a possibility that it could happen, but it wasn't likely.
Yeah, WBSC run-ahead rule. If a team leads by 15 runs after 3 innings, by 10 runs after 4 innings, or by 7 runs after 5 innings or later, then the game comes to a close. And, of course, the USA is the home team here. If they were to cash in Ducharme from third, they'd be in a position in the top of the 5th that if they kept it clean, the game would then end with an 8-1 scoreline.
So a big run, despite the score right now, 7-1. That's a big run there with 2 away at third base. And Schiller ducks into that one, a pitch inside for a ball. Well, Cam Schiller, you got to figure, when you're one of the hottest guys in this tournament, you're going to get some inside pitches. And they come in, as this time spots out, that's going to drop. Run's going to come in to score, and Cam Schiller can do no wrong. Another RBI for Schiller, second hit of the inning for him. And it is an 8-1 ball game.
Cam Schiller 3 for 3 today, now 7 for 9 here in Prince Albert. And we're going to get time called as Herman Taveras has potentially seen enough. And Mikael Batista is going to re-enter this game, Lance.
Well, I think your options are limited, really, and that's clear. And you talked about them being short-staffed and, you know, roster-wise overall with injuries. And, you know, sometimes you come into a tournament like this and you hope that you could ride your horses. But if one of your horses goes down, that changes the whole complexion of things. And I think now their only option is to go back to Batista. So we'll let him warm up. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. Back here as Batista has had his warm-up pitches, and it has taken the Dominican Republic a long time to get this final out. The United States have rallied here, put an 8 spot up on the board, bottom of the 4th inning, to take complete control of this game now. And Jonathan Lynch with another run 60 feet away and a chance to cash here. He's already doubled and cashed in a run this inning. 1 for 2, and that one's gone deep and is drifting in. Get out of this ballpark right now. A 3-run shot for the Lynch mob, who has to slow down his run.
Lance, that's going to end the game. That's going to make it 11-1 in the bottom of the 4th. That's going to be a run-ahead rule victory for the U.S. here. And I'm not sure that anybody quite realizes it yet, but it's 11-1. They've got 12 on the scoreboard. A little overzealous. It's 11-1. That's game.
I think you're right, and I think that the umpires are going to get together here. The U.S. is clearly confident that this game is over. But boy, oh boy, what an offensive explosion for the U.S. We saw this in the group stage. This is the first time we've seen it here, and we didn't even get the slide to 5. This baby is done, and the United States has solidified their spot in the Super Round with a win here, a 2-1 record. Congratulations, they will be one of the top 4 that will play for a world title.
I mean, we've been waiting to see it from the United States, and we saw it here in the 4th inning where they put up 10 runs. It was 1-1 coming to the bottom of the fourth. And the U.S. with 10 runs. My scorebook looks like a paint by numbers. And they walk this off in the bottom. And honestly, Lance, it's too bad for the Dominican Republic. John Gonzalez, I see him going through the handshake line here. Never available to the team today. So the Dominican will finish 1-2. They will move to the placement round. They've been super competitive with the exception of one inning. And what did we talk about coming in to Prince Albert? One bad inning can cost you a chance at a medal.
It sure did. We want to remind our viewers that you got to stick around after this one. Venezuela and New Zealand. Winner will move on to the super round. Australia, Japan. Winner moves on to the super round. Argentina, Canada. Winner moves on to the super round. Stick around. It'll be myself, Kyle Smith, with the call in game number 2 of day 3, followed by Chris Abbott and myself, and then the nightcap, Canada-Argentina, will fall in the hands of Chris and Kyle. On behalf of the production crew, stick around. Enjoy your day. And enjoy some more outstanding softball.